All right, here we have a Holley 4160 4-barrel carburetor. Okay, you can see the barrels inside here. Two primary jets here and here. Okay, the 4-barrel, bigger secondary. You've got dual fuel bowls here and here, which help keep fuel in here so you don't have to prime it and hit the pedal a bunch when you're trying to start it. This is the electric choke. Okay, it's got a ground out right here. These little hash marks is more or less where you want to keep it set. There's an arrow right here. Okay, and that's where you want to keep it set. Here's a train going by, hold on. And in order to adjust the electric choke, you loosen up this screw and that back screw, and there's another one up underneath. And it allows you to rotate this. When you rotate this, that moves the butterfly here and there, okay? So, normally, when it's really cold, this will be closed, but it's wide open because it's a little warm. And so normally what will happen is this butterfly will be up here against here, and you'll have a tiny little space about that big. What the electric choke does is it warms up this manifold here. Okay, it's got some springs in there and it warms it up, and when it warms it up, it slowly opens this up. So the fact that this is completely vertical, this butterfly right here, completely vertical, means that it's ready to start. And you can see when I kick back, okay, there it is. The linkage was a little bit out of whack. It's a little loose here, but you see that? That's when it's cold. So and you see, it's cold. So what I'm gonna do, walk around here. I'm gonna put the key in, and I'm gonna turn on the ignition, okay? I'm not gonna turn the truck on, but I'm gonna turn on the accessory power. The accessory power sends a 12-volt charge back here, okay? And that 12-volt charge will send power from the battery to the starter solenoid all the way through to the ignition back there. Okay, so the ignition's right back in here. That ignition wire is right here on your 12-volt wire. You can't wire this hot wire to any main constantly powered source. You have to do it to an accessory power, or else you'll melt this, and that's not good. So what I did, I couldn't find a good accessory point over here, so what I did is I ran the hot wire. Okay, what I did is the wire was really short. Okay, this is the same wire coming out of the carb back here. Comes around, I spliced it here, ran new wire underneath the brake cylinder, the master cylinder here, and it comes right through this hole in the firewall, right through there, okay? And that hot wire, not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but that hot wire comes out through in there, okay? But you see this little yellow guy right here? That guy right there? That connects to the carburetor, where I showed you that I had that splice in there, and all I did was put a little eyelet on it. Let's see if it'll focus. I put a little eyelet. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Sorry about that. I put a little eyelet right here on it, okay? Tightened it down, so that way anytime I turned on the ignition, I wired it right in here. So anytime I turned on the ignition, in the on position, the accessory power, this accessory came on right here, and that'll send a charge up to the carb. Now, if you notice, it's already starting to open up, okay? It was closed a second ago, okay, but we're gonna sit this right here, and you'll see how it just moved on its own there? It's slowly moving vertical. That's what that accessory power does. So, cold mornings, especially, but regular days, say if you haven't driven in a while, come out here. An electric choke allows for an easy start, so you're not hard starting and pumping gas, and you can see it just flip back a little bit without me touching it. But what this does is it opens it up so that way it gets air in, so when you start the truck up, it doesn't have to dump more fuel than it needs and run wide open like you've got the floor to the pedal. So that way when you start it, the RPMs aren't running at 2,500, 3,000. It's running right at about 700 to 900. But I don't have a tachometer, but that's just what I'm kind of guessing around what it should run. And you can tell a major difference. I know I can. See how it clicked? So now it's completely vertical and it opened on its own. That means that it's ready to start without it having to roar, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this air cleaner back on here, okay? Put this little guy. Take this off here. Help me out. Put this air cleaner back on. I'm gonna put the lid back on. Okay. And just screw this guy back on here. Let's tighten this down. Okay. And this is the original block on the truck from 1972. Okay. Had it completely redone. I didn't do it. I'm not that good. I can keep it on the road, but I can't rebuild it. I'm not that skilled. But what I did do recently, which will be for another video, is I bought this new radiator, okay? Put in new hoses, all that. I had to get custom made. I had to go to A-Line Auto Parts. Went to like 5 different places. Finally found it. Had to custom make these lines down here, which are... This is a transmission cooler line, so the transmission fluid runs through here. One of these is an inlet, one of them is an outlet, but it runs through and circles underneath in the water, and the radiator cools the transmission too. But I had to run around and find the parts for this. But when I did, it made all the difference. And that right there is some Teflon tape, and I wrapped in there real good to keep it from leaking. I haven't had it leak on me at all. It's running real good. So now that that's wide open, we'll give it a start. Oh, this is the truck, by the way, if anybody's interested. This is it right here. Had it since I was 15. This is my baby. Still got to fix this window, but that'll be for another video as well. Everything else in here is pretty much stock, besides the radio, which I've got out of it right now. But everything in here is stock. I got a piece of wood holding up the window right now, but you know, it's not my daily. So we'll give it a little push. And there it is. Running rig. It's still cold. Pressure runs up. Good. And see? No issues. So, in closing, in order to get this thing, you know, an old car, an electric choke on an old classic, an electric choke it does wonders. Instead of turning it on and it roaring and you having to use a bunch of gas to get it to turn over and it just roaring and pissing off all the neighbors and wasting fuel and, you know, running through the RPMs like a madman, an electric choke will save you major issues. Helps it run smoother. It just sounds good too. It makes me feel good. Y'all heard it. Started right up, no problems. It's about 48 degrees, 46. So pretty cold here for here in Texas. But that's all you need to know. Electric choke, baby. Any questions, leave a comment down below, and I will, I'll try to get to any questions you have as soon as I can. Or if you got any other questions or any ideas for another video on old trucks, drop a comment. Thank you. Make sure to like and subscribe.